Hi, and welcome to the That Watch Though channel. Today we are going to take a look at one of my favorite watches of all time. This is the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Chronograph in rose gold. Now, this particular watch has a case size of 41mm and thickness of 11mm. The case is made out of 18 karat rose gold and features a glare-proof sapphire crystal. In case you're wondering, glare-proofing is a technique used to make sure that the dial is perfectly readable, regardless of the conditions of the light. In other words, it helps with avoiding unnecessary reflections on the sapphire crystal. You can actually spot it right in this example where I'm shining quite a bright light towards the sapphire crystal, but you can still perfectly read it in most angles. This watch is powered by a caliber 2385 movement that features 37 jewels and is mentioned consists of 304 parts. It's actually a real shame that they decided to cover up the back of the case and not exhibit this movement. I tried to look for a reason they decided to hide it, but I couldn't find any clues. If you have any ideas or facts, make sure to leave a comment below with more information, as I'm really curious about this. Now, let's take a closer look at the dial, which is one of the things that for me makes AP watches really special. The dial on this timepiece is a part of an AP series called Tapisserie and features an engraved grid of squares, known as a technique called gouloche in the watchmaking world. This particular one falls in the Grande Tapisserie category, which features mid-sized squares. The other two are Mega Tapisserie, that go in the offshore collection of Royal Oaks, and Petite Tapisserie, used in the thinnest models of AP. Now, what's impressive is that these dials take up to 7 hours to be created and are engraved using a machine that's sort of similar to a pantograph. A large-scale dial with the necessary engraving is placed next to an actual watch dial to mimic the movements and engraving process. Now let's see how the watch feels and looks on my wrist. My wrist is about 18.5 centimeters and the 41mm case feels spot on it. Typically I would go for 42 or 44mm watches, but this actually feels a little bit bigger than 41mm. So I would definitely say that this is not a great size for those with smaller wrists. Let's say you wouldn't get it if your wrist is around 16 centimeters and below. But other than that, the size feels perfect. Now, securing the watch is done via this 18 karat gold engraved clasp. Now, it was slightly confusing until I learned how to open and close it, but once you get used to it, I would say it's a pretty decent design. So to open it, you would go here and just pull. You have to apply quite a bit of pressure to do that. Now, what I really like is these AP designed logos that form the clasp. I actually didn't notice it until I've seen this watch for like 100 times, but yeah, you can see it here. A little AP logo here, and same thing on the other side here. So to close the watch, you just go like this, and you can be sure that the watch is closed after you hear a click. Yep, just like that. Now, the only disappointment in this watch, for me personally, was that the case back doesn't display the movement. I'm a big fan of seeing a high-class watch movement in action, and this is probably the only slight disappointment regarding this watch. Everything else is honestly elite level, and so is the price, of course. Lastly, let's touch a bit on the price tag. Now, I'm definitely in no way qualified to answer whether this watch is worth the 50 to 55k that I've seen it retail for, but I can tell you this, the level of craftsmanship and attention to detail that has gone into this watch is on an epic level. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this short review, make sure you subscribe and enable notifications so you get alerts whenever I upload a new video. Also, let me know what you think about the watch in the comments below, and if you have any preferences for watches to be reviewed in the future. Thanks and see you around.